fifth grade. First, we have Candy Diane. Well, Candy moved to Canada. Next, we have Samantha Wobble. Samantha, come down. As parents and friends, what we do with the top academics in fifth grade, we look at test scores, we look at report cards. So Samantha, congratulations. Next is Zora Whitfield.
Go Zora.
Deja Muncie. And next, best all around is Brianna Walker. We've been fortunate to be in a lot of things this year. We won first place in Battle of the Books against Winterset and Seabrook, then at the public library. So will my Battle of the Books team come forward for that trophy? Candy was captain. And they are Candy Diane, Brianna Walker, Jeffrey Stewart, Samantha Wobble, Zora Whitfield. And the other fifth grade teachers will announce our Battle of the Books. So we had 2 teams this year. And I remember going later on, some teachers from the Eclipse asked me, your team was so good. I said, I told them if they win, I'll give them a trophy. If they didn't, I'll give them a handshake. So I think we have Math Works for Kids, Eva Zora Whitfield, Candy Diane, and Aaron Holly.
Go Zora.
Next we have Quantum Fakeem Horatio. Won first in state last year, third in state this year. Next we have chess, Jeffrey Stewart, Edith Silla. And last but not least, Invention Convention. Brianna Walker, Samantha Wobble, Aaron Holly, Zora Whitfield, Candy Diane. I'd like to say something special about Zora Whitfield. Zora, raise your hand and turn around. Zora's invention last year was so good, Kroger's wanted to put it in our stores. She has a letter I have here from the Ohio House of Representatives. She's won numerous awards, and since time is limited, we know she's just good. Thank you.
team at this time. Mrs. Nye and I collaborated, and we had 5 students that also went to competition for Battle of the Books. I would like to call down Madison, Eric, Emma, Janava, and Alex. We started this process back in January, and it requires the students to read 6 additional novels on top of all the other work we usually require in class. They created a project and then went to a competition at Huey Elementary to represent Avalon. We're really proud of them.
Hello, I'm Mr. Crawford. I was asked by administration to talk a little bit about the elite and what that is for parents before we move on with our classroom awards. The idea for the elite started about 3 years ago when I noticed that my class was getting whole group punishments from other teachers a lot. I knew that not all the students were guilty, even though I often was given many students who had had discipline issues in the past to work with. So I asked myself, what was the message? What's the message we're sending to those students who are doing the right thing, acting the way they should, but are still getting these consequences? I was afraid that the students who were doing the right thing would become frustrated and start asking themselves, why should I bother if I'm getting punished anyways? The elite group started as a way to celebrate those students who were doing the right thing day in and day out. It was a way to use them as positive peer role models for our other students. It was a way to draw attention away from the negative actions of students, which was taking a lot of the teacher's time, and focus the attention back on the positive. There needed to be rewards for these students, but also rewards and extras to excite the other students to want to be elite and work to make positive changes. Being an elite student is all about behavior and effort. It's not about academics or grades. But I've noticed when you have good behavior and you have great effort, those academics come up with it. When students try their best to have self-control and are focused in class, their grades improve. Having good behavior, self-control, and trying your best is the first step to being successful at school and in life. Students are told about elite groups at the beginning of the school year, as well as they may have seen elite groups in 4th grade. Every student starts out elite. They can only lose it by their own actions. Teachers discuss and point out elite behaviors throughout the first months of school and discuss goals with individual students on how to be elite. Elite groups are announced after winter break, as many of you probably noticed. T-shirts are given out Fridays. The rewards start. I'm so proud that the elite groups have spread to all the 5th grade classrooms, and that we all work together as educators to push all our students to be the best they can be. That's really what the elite groups are about. We have had amazing support this year from Mrs. Donald, Mr. Petit, and Mrs. Russell. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Thank you so much for your support. It made a huge difference. We have had more rewards this year than any of our past years. We've had special lunches, extra treats, special movie mornings with popcorn, a trip to Allen Creek Park, a trip to Donato's Pizza. We walked to Dairy Queen. Our elite students didn't have to wear their uniforms on Thursdays in May. And of course, they looked amazing every Friday in their elite shirts, especially the red ones. I'm just saying. One of our sayings in elite is for everyone. It's up to each individual student to make a choice to be elite. Will our elite students please stand and be recognized? Great job. Thank you. Now for room 21, for academic excellence, I had an elite young lady who was elite from day one. Came in and tried her best every day, had wonderful behavior, had a positive attitude, and you couldn't ask for more. Miss Pamela Butler. difficult choice. I had a lot of kids make great strides this year, make a lot of improvement. I was very proud. One young lady kind of stuck out to me though. She's a lady who had had some difficulties in the past in school. She had struggled in the beginning of this school year, but made a choice to change things about her. So she made just different choices and would come to me for advice, and she would ask about doing different things. She would keep herself in at recesses to stay away from the temptations that were getting her in trouble. Her grades started to improve. I just couldn't believe it. We all were very impressed with what she did, and she became an elite student. Miss Jeriana, and now we will have Mrs. Nye in her classroom awards.
Good afternoon, I am Mrs. Nye, and I am the proud teacher of the 5th graders in room 24. Many of these students, I've had the privilege of being their 4th grade teacher as well. I've also had the privilege of teaching writing to the kids in room 21 and 23. This year has been truly one of the best years in 23 years of teaching for me. I didn't realize the benefit of actually teaching the same students 2 years in a row, and until I did it this year. Mrs. Donald asked me, and I went, I don't know, she said, you will love it. And it has been, honestly, one of the best experiences I've had in 23 years. I knew my students well, and they in turn knew me right from the start. I've loved the relationships I have formed with them, both personally and academically. I've also developed really good relationships with their parents. With that said, it was extremely difficult for me to single out an academic excellence, and especially a most improved, because many of these kids I've had since the beginning of 4th grade. But I had to choose, and these are my awards. My Academic Excellence Award goes to a young man that has truly a love of reading that I've never seen. It became a challenge for me, Mrs. McDowell, anybody on the staff to find a book that he hadn't already read. And if we found one, he usually read it overnight, so we were always scrambling. This year, he was the captain of the room 21, 23 and 24 Battle of the Books team and did an excellent job at competition. The sky is the limit for this young man, and my only hope for him is that he continues to make education a priority for him. He will do great things. I'm 100% sure. My Academic Excellence Award goes to Eric Anova. My Most Improved Award goes to a young man that I remember at the beginning of 4th grade. I called his dad and I told him, I said, I'm not getting homework back, he's not trying his best. Throughout 4th grade, he did improve, but he continued to be very hesitant with his writing and then his problem solving. But during this past year, I saw him take off. His writing improved immensely. He became one of my best problem solvers. I've truly watched his confidence grow each day, and I'm so proud of my Most Improved Award goes to Mateo Gary.
Yeah.
In my group, the students recite a poem after they say the pledge each morning. It's actually a quote from Winnie the Pooh. To me, it says it all, and is my hope that students will carry these words with them throughout the future. It goes like this. If ever there is a tomorrow when we are not together, there is something you must always remember. And this is where it starts, guys, room 24. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. But the most important thing is even when we are apart, which we haven't did for 2 years, but I'll always be with you and you will always be with me. Thank you, fifth graders, for being so wonderful.
And now we will give to the sixth.
Call down my 2 awards in just a moment, but going along with Mrs. Nye's poem there, I came across something a few days ago, and this is to the parents. I want my classroom to listen closely though too, because they have not heard this yet, and it's simply called Dear Parents. I've worked with your flower and helped it to grow. I'm returning it now, but I want you to know. This flower is precious, as dear as can be. Love it, take care of it, and you will see a bright new bloom with every day. It grew and blossomed in such a wonderful way. In August, just a bud, January, a bloom. Now a lovely blossom, I'm returning in June. Remember this flower as dear as can be, though rightfully yours, heart will always be with me. Down, and then I'll talk about them. That way the parents can get some pictures in. My Academic Excellence Award is going to go to Alex Timmons. If I had to use one word to describe Alex, I would use the word witty. My favorite Alex quote came on a day that we were discussing test-taking skills, and on our OAA test, parents, they have to stay within a certain boxed area on their answer document, and so I was going on and on about staying inside the box, and Alex raised his hand and very coolly said, Mrs. Lenz, are you telling us to think inside the box? So that is my favorite witty Alex story. Congratulations, Alex. My most improved award goes to Rod Harden. Rod wasn't happy with me a few months ago because I had to sort of light a fire under him a little bit. We had a wonderful conference with Mom and Dad back in the cold winter months, and after that, my class will tell you, Rod became a new man. He was checking in with me constantly. Is this good, Mrs. Lenz? Is this work that would give me a 3 in this class, in this subject? Constantly striving to be his best. So that's why Rod is our most improved.
And Mrs. Miller.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Miller, and actually I had a discussion with Mrs. Donald yesterday, and I love my class so much that we've decided to retain them, so I don't have any awards to give today. My fifth graders are just going to stay with me next year. Thank you.
I bet you the fifth graders are not smiling.
Just kidding. My Academic Excellence Award goes to an individual that every single day he works so hard. He helps the individuals around him. He's always trying to improve. And if I give him any type of constructive criticism, I never get any rolled eyes. I don't get anything up there. He's like, okay. And he goes right back and tries to do it better. Every night he's helping other students. Hey, don't forget, this is your homework you're supposed to do. He is an excellent role model, and I hope he continues this on. And I did forget I was supposed to bring him some tangrams. He thinks he's going to beat me. I will be giving him some tangrams when he gets back in the room. And I will be expecting him to continually work on those. It's a mathematical puzzle. And I expect to see him next year to come in and squash me like a bug, like I have done to him this year. Come on down, Andy Boo. I have no doubt it will not take him long before he can do that. My most improved student, this individual at the beginning of the year would give me kind of like a blank book. She never wrote anything, had to get on for quite a bit, and now the second half of the year, she is constantly writing. We did some narratives, and she got one of the People's Choice Awards, meaning our students voted on the best of the class. She was one of the best of the class, so we're coming from writing nothing to one of the best writers in the classroom. For my time at Avalon, she was in the top running for that as well, but she wasn't able to donate the time to it because she was working so hard on her research paper. At the beginning of the year, she didn't work necessarily with her groups in her class, and now she really works hard. She puts in her opinions, she's sharing with everybody else, and that goes to Liliana Bennett. Very, very proud of Zora and Andy. Thank you very much.
And now we will hear from our awesome music teacher, Mr. Damacon.
Hi there. I'm fortunate enough I get to see all of the students, sometimes even more than once a week. It's very difficult for me to pick awards, but I wanted to recognize a couple of students that did something even outside of school this year. Back in March, 3 of our students represented Avalon at the Columbus City Schools Honors Course for elementary students. They worked with teachers from the Columbus Children's Chorus and had a performance in March. I want to recognize those 3 students. Justice Brown. Kiara Chambers. And Jenna Palmer. As I said, I get to see all the 5th graders once a week for general music. In that class, we play costume instruments, sing, do games, all kinds of fun things like that. And it's very difficult for me to pick one student that stands out. But this student, I do want to recognize. You might have heard him sing at Mom's Day. The mothers over here. He has a beautiful voice. He's an outstanding musician, Mr. Justice Brown. Great. Next, I wanted to recognize our band students. This year, we had a great turnout with our students. And guys, when I call your names, come on down and grab your ribbon and stay down here, please. Our flutes: Eric Anoba, Tyseer Arif, Jordan Britt, Alonzo Waugh, Denali Wallace. Our clarinet players: Justice Brown, Kenny Diane, Ariana Drew, Rain Johnson, Madison Cottrell, Jennifer Matute Galvez, Torian Price, Brianna Walker, Samantha Weibel, and Zora Whitfield. Our saxophone players: Nia Battle, Julio Delotte, Sonia Moore, and Lorenzo Waugh. Our trumpets: Jamie Cornejo Aranda, Samira Cook, Aaliyah Nyberger, and Michaela Nesbitt. Our trombone players: Aaron Holly, Tayshawn Johnson, Karan Mitchell, and Miguel Van Oil. And our percussionists, our drummers: Devontae Coker, Rod Harden, Jack Hewlett, Howard Marsh, and Jeffrey Stewart. Good looking band, right? I also want to recognize a couple of these guys. I have 2 students that I want to give an Outstanding Effort Award to. These students proved themselves every day in class. They were always prepared, had a great attitude. hard and sounding really good too. And those two students are Sonia Moore and Jeffrey Stewart. And then I want to also choose an outstanding band member. This student exhibits an unusually strong talent in performing on her instrument. I know the students in her class think so too. Right off the bat, she was able to match pitch, play along right with me just as she had played for a long time. And that trumpet player is Michaela Nesbitt. Thanks to our band guys. You can go back to your spot. Now I want to recognize our string students. Again, string players, when I call your name, come up front and receive your ribbon and stay, please. Our violin players, Michelle Aaron, Kiara Chambers, Evie Silla, Lanika Theodore, our viola players, Miss Deja Muncie and Andy Fu. Our cellist, Israel Blankson and Marisha Patel. And our double bassist, Aliyah Abdullahi. Again, I wanted to recognize two students that gave outstanding effort throughout the whole year. These students actually started this year. A lot of our other students began strings last year as fourth graders. These two young ladies, though, met the match this year and stepped it right up with the other students that have been playing already for a whole year. And those are Deja Muncie and Aliyah Abdullahi. And then I wanted to recognize an most outstanding string player, and this one I could not narrow down to one, so I had to pick two. These two young ladies, just outstanding students. I couldn't give them the music, they come back the next day, had them learn, so I just couldn't keep up with them. And those people are Kiara Chambers and Marisha Patel.
Thank you, boys and girls. May I have a seat?
We have two students that we would like to recognize for athletic leadership. And I can honestly say, I spent quite a bit of time with this group of fifth grade between basketball, kickball, recess, flag football with Mr. Crawford. And these two excellent athletes we'd like to recognize. The first one is Naya Battle Miller. And the last one, and you still didn't win, Alex, when we played on the field trip, is Alex Simmons.
I would also like to recognize for Mrs. Hines, her two students for excellence in art goes to Brandon Malagorski and Frida Castillo. And at this time, I would like to honor 3 students. I have the privilege each year of choosing normally 2 students for Principal's Award. And one of the things that I've always done is normally I'm able to just choose. But there is such excellence in this class that I had to involve my colleagues in this decision. Truly, it's an amazing group of fifth graders, and there are so many students. You saw all of those elite children that stood. Any one of them could have earned Principal's Award. So it was not an easy choice, but nonetheless, we had to narrow it down. So at this time, I would like to recognize the first young lady who will receive Principal's Award, an outstanding young lady, extremely hardworking, very mannerable, has such a thirst for knowledge, and very helpful to her classmates. She epitomizes everything that I could think of in a leader, Samantha Weibel. This other young man, I have had the privilege of being his principal from kindergarten. So I have seen him grow up. I can remember when he would throw a fit in my kindergarten floor, and I would have to go down to the room and get him. But he has grown into a tremendous young man. He is a critical thinker. We love to see him think. He's very outspoken. He's very helpful. He's a member of band. He's just an all-around awesome young man, and that is Sonye Moore.
The last Principal's Award. This is the first time I've got to give a Principal's Award out, obviously, and I had a trouble deciding on this, and then yesterday, we've already decided before that, yesterday I was watching a talent show, and this young lady just truly impressed me. All year long, she has been super shy, but very quiet, always comes up, as the years got on, she's become more comfortable with me, and this watching her blossom yesterday at the talent show really put a smile on my face. I told basically everyone that I saw yesterday how she came out. She is an excellent role model and leader for the rest of the students here, especially the girls, and it is Destiny Robertson.
Without further ado, we are going to get ready to do our presentation of diplomas. about their time at Avalon. And then the students actually choose a student from their class who will share their final thoughts from each of the classes with our parents. So we're going to start with our student from room 21. Michaela Neston.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Michaela Neston. I have been at Avalon Elementary for 5 years, including this year. This 5th grade year, I am in Mr. Connor's class. He's really cool and jokes around with us a lot. He also has an elite group which I'm in, and we do a lot of fun things like go on full field trips, giving special lunches once a month, and it makes me feel like we're the leaders of the class because we get more opportunities. I remember this year at Avalon when we were playing for sport. Me, Ray, and Shania were all laughing really hard, and a ball was coming. We all moved except Shania, and she got hit